Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sorry I will not be with you today, but I thank for the opportunity to address you with this short statement on behalf of the Immigrant Council of Ireland and the European Network of Migrant Women. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizers, the Polish Women's Lobby and the European Women's Lobby, for holding this timely conference in Warsaw. At the recent anti-trafficking civil society platform in Brussels, we were reminded by the EU decision makers that the most prevalent form of human trafficking by far is trafficking for sexual exploitation. We were encouraged to clearly name this fact. Trafficking for sexual exploitation is a crime that occurs within the system of prostitution. It is a crime that violates women and girls, and it is also a crime that results in fewer prosecutions. An increasing number of the victims are women of migrant background. In the present era of globalization, migration and prostitution are structurally linked. The laws regulating prostitution in our countries have to be revisited and the demand for prostitution tackled. If we refuse to act now, we consciously fail those among us who are weaker and poorer. Migrant NGOs, such as the Immigrant Council and other European network of migrant women members from around Europe, have been responding to the complex needs of migrant women in prostitution for more than a decade by now. Today, these services struggle as they try to catch up with the ever-expanding prostitution in the EU. Let me paint a picture. As traffickers and pimps are making more money and their seedy business prospers, the hard-fought for respect for women erodes. The mixing of sex with money becomes a culture and a norm. More men around Europe purchase sex. New terms to legitimize prostitution are appearing, such as sex work, escort, migrant sex worker. Gone are the words pimp and brothel. Along this transformation, racism creeps in, as buyers search for exotic and foreign women. The prevalence of migrant women in prostitution in most EU member states is an established fact today. Women living in poor economic conditions are deceived by an optimistic picture of income that can be earned in the sex industry. Many are also targeted and recruited by agencies. The legalized prostitution markets in several European countries are magnets for criminal organizers, ready to ship women from poor ghettos of Eastern Europe or even from Africa. These facts compel us to discuss prostitution with the clear references to migration, internal migration, and migrant women. These facts also invite questions. In times of economic crisis with high unemployment, with thriving racist attitudes and cherished immigration mobility restrictions, why are we so tolerant to the sex industry as some sort of bizarre labor market for migrant women? Do we really want to see a work authorization for migrants to sell sex as nearly the only possible occupation for them? We would like to remind that in countries with legalized prostitution, one of the most common penalties imposed is around the lack of permit to be in the country or the lack of permit to sell sex. We do not want to see migrant communities stigmatized by such regulations and penalties. To all people advocating today for the rights of migrants, including those from deprived communities of Eastern European countries to prostitute themselves, we would remind that there are other, more valuable calls for positive and non-harmful opportunities for migrants, such as labor market access and mobility, qualification recognition, family reunification, and others. Our message today is this: we do not accept prostitution as a real and acceptable alternative to employment for migrants in Europe. We urge the European Union and the Member States to tackle the demand for prostitution and sex trafficking strongly and unconditionally in order to avoid turning migrant women into the new poor cohort of marginalized women, satisfying the needs of a minority of entitled men in the European Union. Thank you and good luck with your work.